Hi there guys, I'm Nikhil from Notion Hub, and in this video, I'll be showing you all the best features of the Poco X2. By the way, I've also made a dedicated video for the tips and tricks section where I've talked about many things which I won't be covering in this video. So definitely check out that video, link will be in the description. Now with that said, the most highlighting feature about this phone is definitely performance. This phone sports a Snapdragon 730G processor with Adreno 618 GPU with up to 8GB of LPDDR4X RAM and up to 256GB of UFS 2.1 storage. These are the benchmark scores. Purely in terms of performance, this is one of the best phones that you can get in this price segment. Next best thing about this phone is definitely its display. This phone sports a 6.67-inch IPS display with Full HD Plus resolution with 120Hz refresh rate, and it's also protected by a Corning Gorilla Glass 5. Next, this phone also packs in some great cameras. On the rear, it is a quad camera setup with a 64MP primary camera with f1.9 aperture. On the front, it is a dual camera setup with a 20MP primary camera for taking selfies with f2.2 aperture. These are some sample shots. Next best thing about this phone are its charging speeds. This phone supports fast charging and comes with a 27W fast charger inside the box. This phone has a 4500 mAh battery, and considering the charging speeds, it can be charged completely in about an hour, which is pretty cool. Going on next, this phone also comes with a side-mounted fingerprint scanner. Personally, I don't like this side mount setup, but it works, it's pretty fast, and it is usable. Here's a quick preview. Next, this phone also has the face unlock feature, and that too is pretty fast. In good lighting conditions, it's almost instantaneous. It's almost as good as a fingerprint scanner. Most of the time, I do end up using the face unlock instead. It even works pretty well in low lighting conditions. But in complete darkness, it's slightly slower, so I'd rather use the fingerprint scanner instead. Next, this phone also comes with a wide-angle camera. It is an 8MP camera with f2.2 aperture with 120° field of view. These are some sample shots. Now the next best thing about this phone would be the dark mode. Now you can enable this feature from display settings, and once you turn it on, all the UI elements change to the dark mode theme, and now the UI looks much more cooler. Now this dark mode helps you save some battery and strains your eyes less if you're using your phone late at night. Now going on next, this phone also has a dedicated night mode. It does take some better pictures when you compare it to the auto mode, but still, results are nowhere as good as a Pixel phone. By the way, you can still use the Google's camera application to take better pictures in low lighting conditions. Next we have Palm Shutter. Now this is a new feature added with the latest version of MIUI, and it's also available on all of the phones. Once you enable this feature, you can just show your palm to your front camera to take a selfie. Next we have Beauty FX. Now this is a new feature that can literally change the way you look. It gives you various options to change your physical appearance, add makeup effects, and even add filters as well. Next we have Panorama Selfie mode. On other phones, it's also called as wider selfie, where you can just take a picture and twist your phone left and right to take a wider selfie or a panorama selfie. When done right, it does look pretty good. Now going on next, we also have slow motion video recording. We can record video at 1080p at 120fps or at 720p at 240fps and even at 960fps. Next we have Shareme, which was earlier called as MI Drop. Now this feature is just like Share It, but just for the Xiaomi phones to transfer files between Xiaomi phones or Wi-Fi. Next we have Wi-Fi Assistant. Now mostly this feature will be enabled by default. This feature automatically switches your Wi-Fi connection depending upon the connection speed and signal strength. If for some reason your Wi-Fi network is not working, or if the Wi-Fi connection is poor, mobile data is turned on automatically. Next we have Traffic mode. Once you enable this feature and select Extreme mode only, the current application will have priority over the internet. To enable that, you need to go to the Wi-Fi settings. Let's say you're playing PUBG or any other game that needs internet, and if you want the best experience and you don't want any kind of lag because of other applications, just enable this feature and select Extreme mode. Next we have Secondary space. Now this feature allows you to create a secondary space on your phone. That means you will be able to use a single phone as two different phones. In the secondary space, you can have completely different Google accounts, passwords, and different set of applications as well. It's a pretty cool feature, but personally I will recommend you not to use this feature as it can slow down your phone. If you have a flagship from Xiaomi, then you might consider, but most of the time, I'll recommend you not to use this feature. Next we have 64MP mode. Even though this phone comes with a 64 megapixel camera, by default it takes pictures in 16 megapixel resolution because of pixel binning. But for some reason, if you want to take a bigger 64 megapixel picture, you can use this mode. On this phone, we have few additional effects. In light trails, these are all the different options we have, and that will give you different effect for different photos. In studio lighting effects, these are the different options we have, and the effects will be shown once a face is detected. Next we have vlog mode. Using this feature, we can record videos in different themes and produce them. Once you select a particular theme, you get the option to record short clips and then put them together, and this feature will automatically edit those clips in that particular theme and give you an amazing looking video. Here's a quick sample. Next we have glance for MI. If you're someone who likes to change your lock screen wallpaper all the time, then this is a great feature for you. Once you enable this feature, every time you wake up your phone, you get a different wallpaper. From settings, you can also select categories so that you can get wallpapers only from those particular categories. Going on next, we have full screen gestures, and once you enable these gestures, you can swipe from the bottom of the screen to go home, swipe and hold for recent taps, and you can swipe from the left side or right side to go back a step. Besides that, you can also swipe and hold from the left side or right side to quickly switch between the current application and previous application. This is one of the few phones out there that actually has this feature. Going on next, we can also change the screen refresh rate of this phone. This phone comes with a display with 120Hz refresh rate, and that definitely improves the overall experience, making things look much more smoother. So personally I would set it to the maximum refresh rate all the time, but if you're someone who's worried about battery life, then you can go back to the 60Hz. Next, I'm going to show you some important MIUI 11 related features. First, we have different notification styles. From here, you can choose between Android style or MIUI styles, and there is definitely a pretty significant difference between the notification styles of stock Android and MIUI. Next, we also have a new feature called Sky Edit. Even though it has been even on the previous MIUI 9 phones, this feature is still pretty new. Using this feature, you can literally change the sky in the background. You get different presets and all of them look pretty cool. Next we have dynamic alarms. Now this is a brand new feature in MIUI 11 that gives you dynamic alarm tones depending upon the time of the day. So if you have an alarm in the morning, you get a different tone. If you have it in the evening, you get a different tone. So that's the new dynamic alarm feature, and we also get a lot of new natural sounds. Next we have MI Share. Now this is a feature from Xiaomi, just like Share It, which can be used to transfer any kind of data between two smartphones. When compared to Share It, at least this version is much more cleaner. Next we have video wallpapers. Now using this feature, you can set up a video as your lock screen wallpaper or a home screen wallpaper. Here's a quick preview. Next we have digital well-being. Now this is a feature from Google which literally tracks all your usage, analyzes it and gives you a complete report. Using this feature, you can track your usage, and if you want, you can also put restrictions upon yourself. Like if you don't want to use YouTube for more than 15 minutes a day, you can put such restrictions using this feature. Next we have wind down. This is another feature from Google which is part of digital well-being. This feature will allow you to automatically enable do not disturb mode and grayscale mode at a specific time on any given day. This feature is more like a gentle reminder to go to sleep early. Next, it offers AI mode for both the front and rear cameras. Just like most of the flagships these days, this phone also offers AI mode for both the front and rear cameras. Depending upon the scene, it automatically detects few elements like plants, food or vehicles, and then enhances some details about the image to make it look more pleasing. These are some sample pictures. Next, it offers portrait mode for both the front and rear cameras. Now this is like the most common feature we find in almost all the phones these days, and even this phone offers that. Now these are some sample pictures. Now going on next, this phone even offers electronic image stabilization. Now by default it's always turned on, And because of electronic image stabilization, some part of the sensor is cropped and you get a cropped footage. For some reason, if you don't want stabilization and want a much wider footage, you can always disable it from the settings. This is the sample footage. Now going on next, we have Quick Ball. You want to use your phone single-handedly? Then this is a great solution for you. Once you enable this feature, a floating bubble will pop up. You can use it in two ways. You can either tap and select the option, or else we can swipe. Personally, I like to go with swipe option with navigation keys. Once everything is properly set up, you can simply swipe on the floating bubble to go back, go home, or even open recent taps page. Now going on next, we have some handy gestures. First, we have the double tap to wake. Now this one is pretty simple. Just enable this feature and double tap your screen to wake it up. If you are using face unlock on this phone, then you can simply double tap your phone. Phone wakes up, sees your face, and immediately unlocks the phone. You don't even have to use the fingerprint scanner. It is super convenient. Next we have raise to wake. Now this is another super useful feature. Once you enable this feature, every time you raise your phone, your display lights up and shows you the lock screen. Once again, if you have enabled face unlock feature, it wakes up, sees your face, and immediately unlocks the phone. So this feature in combination with face unlock works just like the latest iPhones. Now going on next, we have two super shortcuts to quickly open the camera application. First way is to open the camera application by pressing the power button twice. This particular shortcut works anywhere and anytime. Just enable it from additional settings, and every time you press the power button twice, camera application will pop up almost immediately. Most of the time it works. Another way to open camera application is from the lock screen. Now once you enable this feature from lock screen settings, on your lock screen you can press the volume down button twice to quickly open the camera application. Well, that's a feature and it works, but personally I still like to use the power button. Now going on next, we have 3-finger screenshot. Now before I show you that feature, let me show you how to take a regular screenshot. On this phone or any other phone out there, especially Android phones, if you want to take a screenshot, press the volume down and power button both at the same time. Once you do that, your phone will take a screenshot. For some reason, if that's a bit difficult for you, you can always use the notification toggle. Now coming back to 3-finger screenshot, once you enable this feature, you can simply swipe down using 3 fingers to take a screenshot. This is personally my favorite way to take a screenshot. Next we have long screenshot. Now to take a long screenshot on this phone, first we need to take a regular screenshot. We can either use the buttons, notification toggle or the gesture. And once you have taken a picture, you will get a preview at the top right corner of the screen. Just click that and then click scroll. Your phone will scroll the current application automatically and then take a long screenshot. If you want to stop in between, you can always click the done button and it will take a long screenshot up to that point. You can find those long screenshots along with your regular screenshots. Next we have a shortcut to turn on the torch. Now there are many ways to turn it on, but personally I like to long press the back button to turn on the torch. This is how you do it, and once you're done, you can press and hold the back button anywhere, anytime. That's when your phone is unlocked to turn on the torch. Now that's definitely a very convenient way to turn on the torch, and once you're done doing it again, it'll turn it off. Next we have dual apps. Now Xiaomi has this awesome feature called dual apps, which allows you to use 2 instances of the same application. That means you can use 2 Facebook accounts, 2 Instagram accounts, 2 Twitter accounts, or even 2 WhatsApp accounts on the same phone. Now there are many phones out there that offer a similar feature, but all those brands offer this feature only for few applications, especially social media applications. While on this phone, we can use dual apps feature on literally all the applications. Next we have reading mode. On many other phones it's also called as night mode, and once you enable this feature, it puts a warm tint on the screen and filters the blue light. According to research, blue light emitted by our displays at night will affect our sleep. So using this feature will prevent that. We can also change the intensity of the warm tint. We can also schedule it to turn on and turn off at a specific time or at sunrise and sunset. Now going on next, we also have the option to record calls automatically on this phone. Now this feature is definitely available in India, but I don't know about other places. And if you want to activate it, you need to open the phone dialer, go to settings, then select call recording and turn it on. You can either record all the calls or few specific calls. If you have signed into your MI account, you can also back up all these call logs. Going on next, we have one-handed mode. Now for some reason, if you think this phone has a massive display and if you can't use it single-handedly, you can use this feature. Once you turn on this feature, you can swipe on the navigation bar from home to left or right to shrink the screen. In this mode, you can literally do anything, make calls, take pictures, and do everything with a single hand. You can swipe in the same direction to go full screen, you can swipe in the opposite direction to switch to the other side, and do it again to go full screen once again. From settings, you can also change the size of this window. I'm at the screen. Next, we have some pretty cool gestures related to phone calls. First, we have flip to silence ringer. Now, just like the name suggests, when your phone is lying on a flat surface, when you get a call, you can flip your phone to silence the ringer. Here's a quick preview. Next, we have quiet ringer when lifted. Once you enable this feature, whenever you get a call, you can pick up your phone and the ringtone volume goes down. It won't go completely silent, but ringtone volume does go down. Here's a quick preview. Next, we have increasing ringtone volume. Once you enable this feature, every time you get a call, ringtone volume starts with low volume and gradually increases. Next, we have flash when ringing. Once you enable this feature, every time you get a call, your flashlight, that's the rear flash, flickers. Next, we have mute first ring from unknown numbers. Now, once you enable this feature, every time you get a call from any unknown number, first ring, that's probably 2 to 3 seconds, will be silent, and after that, you will hear the ringtone. Next, this phone has a super handy feature to identify unknown numbers. Just like Truecaller, Xiaomi collects information from various sources to identify spam and scam calls. It isn't as effective as Truecaller, but it does work. Next, we have a brand new feature called Game Speed Booster. Now, this is like a dedication application in itself, and once you open it up, this is how it looks like. You can add all your games to this list and then swipe right for settings. Now, from here, you can do a lot of things. Improve the gaming experience by clearing the cache. You can also configure the navigation shortcuts, restrict network switching while playing the game, restrict background sync, prioritize network usage, enable silent mode, hands-free mode, and even fix the screen brightness. Whenever you open any of the games from your list, all these settings will be applied automatically. Now, going on next, we can also change the background app usage. MIUI offers you additional options to tweak individual apps to further improve battery life. You can completely stop applications from running in the background. You can restrict background access, you can restrict background sync and usage, and do stuff like that. It might help, but usually its effects are not that visible. Now, going on next, we have wireless display. Now, using this feature, you can cast the screen of your phone to any television with Mirrorcast or to a Chromecast. This feature works really well with MI TVs. Next, we have MI Mover. Now, if this is a brand new phone and if you want to transfer all your data from your previous Xiaomi phone to this new Xiaomi phone, you can use this feature. Just select MI Mover on both phones and do the needful to transfer all your data from your previous phone to your brand new phone. Next, we have local backup. In backup and reset settings, we have the option to back up everything on your phone, along with user data. This is really handy when you have to reset your phone and quickly take a backup of your apps. Now, when you reset your phone, all this data will be deleted. So once you are done with the backup, copy it to your PC or a pen drive and transfer it back to your phone once you have done resetting your phone. Now, going on next, we have some features to improve the audio experience on headset. Now, using this particular page, you can select the type of headset you're using. If you're already using a Xiaomi headset, you can further tune your phone to give you best results for that particular headset. You also get the equalizer settings to tweak the audio further according to your preference. Now, going on next, we have themes. If you're someone who likes to tweak the look and feel of your phone, then Xiaomi phones or MIUI itself is great for that. You have tons of themes, tons of fonts and wallpapers and stuff. You can download it from the Themes app and apply them with just a click of a button. Here's a quick preview. Next, we have a super handy feature called Scanner. It's more like an application itself. Now, this is how it looks like. You can scan a regular QR code and most importantly, take pictures of documents. Now, no matter which angle you take pictures in, it automatically aligns the page, changes the perspective and crops the image to give you the perfect document. You can also grayscale it and copy the text from the image. Next, we have screen recording. Now, if you're someone who likes to record the screen of your phone, then on this phone, there is a dedicated application called Recorder just to do that. Just open the application and click the record button. You will see a floating button and you can start recording whenever you want by clicking that big red button. Once you're done, you can click the stop button and you can find that recording in your gallery. Next, we have a feature called SMS Schedule. Now using this feature, we can automatically send an SMS on a specific date at a specific time. This is probably one of the most coolest features of this phone. Well, nowadays most people don't send messages, well, especially SMS, but if you're someone who want to automate it, you can do it on this phone. Next we have auto start permission. No matter how many times you kill any application or close an application, some applications start automatically in the background, say like Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, and they end up draining the battery, especially if you don't use those apps a lot. So using this feature, you can restrict those applications from auto starting in the background. Next we have App Vault. Now looking at the name, you might think it's an app lock kind of a feature. Well, it's not. In the default launcher on the leftmost screen, you get a dedicated page with multiple widgets for quick shortcuts, notes, stock prices, call a cab feature, cricket scores and so on. So if you want to see this page, enable App Vault, and if you want to hide it, disable it. Next we have the option to mirror buttons. Now usually on most phones, especially phones with pure stock Android, it doesn't give you the option to swipe the back and menu button. But on this phone, we can do it. Next we have an app lock built into the system. We can set it up with a different password from your lock screen password and obviously lock applications. Now whenever you try to open any locked application, you have to either enter the password or we can use a fingerprint scanner. Now there are many third-party applications which can do the same, but this feature comes inbuilt and it's quite secure. Next we have private SMS. Now for some reason, if you want to hide messages from a specific contact, using this feature you can do that. In the default messaging application, you can swipe down until you see the lock to enter the private messages space. Once again, you have to set up a password and it can be different from your lock screen password and app lock. From here you can configure this feature. Next we have folder vault. Now using this feature, we can hide files on your phone. Whether it's a video, photo or any other file, you can hide all those files in the folder vault. To use this feature, open the file manager and swipe down until you see the lock icon. Once again, you have to set up a password and it can be different from any other password you have already set. Now once you're done configuring this feature, you can select any file, go to menu and click hide to hide that file. So guys, those were all the best features. If I missed on anything important, do let me know by commenting below this video, and definitely check out my video on tips and tricks section. Link is in the description. Now if you're planning to buy this phone, please use the link in the description. It always helps the channel, and if you want us to make any specific video, tweet out to us with the hashtag AskGreedyTech on Twitter and we will try to make it as soon as possible. I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech signing off. Have a nice day.